be a
At the
part
risk of generalization, like, I think every male actor wants that one close-up with blood and some and wound.
I knew that I wanted to keep this immediacy. The film is set in a very short period of time, so the less I cut it, the more it'll feel like it's real time, So I wanted to really make a real time film.
I was just shook by the film, like it literally rattled me. Honestly, showing you the mirror right through.
If you love a script to the point where you're like, yaar, ye mujhe khud direct karni hai film, which means it's good enough to produce. And that's I mean, for me, that's the barometer in terms of the fact that, yaar, if I want to direct this film, that means it should be produced.
It's very expensive to shoot at a railway station.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
मैं तो मास्टर क्लास लेने वाला हूँ यार इससे, मतलब मैं अपने EP और LPs को बोलने वाला हूँ, सुन लो ये
मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, पहली फिल्म कल होना नहीं होती ना, तो मास्टर क्लास की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती.
Thank you so much, just as a film lover, I'm saying this, for supporting a film like Stolen. मतलब आप लोग support कर रहे हो ऐसी फिल्मों को, तभी ऐसी फिल्में बन रही हैं. मतलब एक बार, like just for everyone on set, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए यार. I think this is a moment. Like I feel like एक अंदर से feeling आ रही है as if like a revolution of sorts is coming with so many films. अभी theatre में भी इतनी सारी फिल्में लगी हुई हैं and so many films doing so well, and Stolen is just, it's a film that completely blew me away and I haven't been able to get it out of my mind. So Karan, if we just had to start by speaking a little bit about how the journey has been until now.
So I think the first part of Stolen for me was really like a obsession with this subject, and it was something like a knot in my stomach, honestly, and I was really, a lot of the time was spent in the beginning trying to decode what it is, sort of find the heart of this phenomenon which could be then told as a story. That was like really a large part of time was spent in that, and it was a very sort of fulfilling process because when you really deep dive into a subject and pull back the layers, you are able to really understand it better as well as process it in a way that makes it easier for oneself. I mean, like I said, it was a knot in my stomach, and I think by processing it, by understanding it better, I think it helped me kind of move on in a certain sense. But outside of that, I mean, once the film started to get made, it was a bullet train of a ride. I mean, we started shooting in January 23. By the time August 10 came around, it had already played at Venice. And since then, even when I started shooting it from then onwards, I think it's been an extremely fulfilling experience for me. I mean, way overwhelming than what I would have ever imagined what's going to happen with this. I had never expected such a response, or the way that the film has touched people, that I never expected any of that. So all in all, there's just immense gratitude that I feel, and every day seems to be sort of giving back more than I ever expected.
अनुराग सर, मेरी और आपके भी लास्ट ईयर जब बात हुई थी तब थोड़ी सिनिकल बातें हुई थी हमारी. I think the environment in general was cynical, पर अभी एक साल भी पूरा नहीं हुआ है. You feel like certain things have changed since then? Do you feel like some positive changes are happening at the moment?
I think this is one very good initiative. It's actually started. We all loved Stolen individually, and Nikhil and Vikram got us all together, and suddenly it gives me hope that there's something that can happen. There's a possibility of good things happening. Because there are a lot of films I feel very good films lying unreleased, and I want to see how people respond to Stolen. It's like what she was saying. I want to see the Stolen trending at #1. I want to see Stolen.
I think it really has the potential to do that. I think it is exactly that kind of film.
And that will empower, I think, all of us. That will empower all of us to be able to do this for a lot of good films.
Do you think this could be like one of the ways forward ki people like you who are such big names by yourself supporting such films and more people joining your tribe, do you feel like these collaborations can really be one of the solutions that we're looking for?
I certainly hope so, and I do think so. We've been discussing this over the last 6 hours. But there is, I think all of us as filmmakers feel the gap. We feel like, it's hard for a good film to, even though it's a great film, to find its way, and distribution has its challenges. The ecosystem is like clogged in so many places for, things to come up to the surface is hard, and we can be that filter, we can be that amplifier, we can, you know, use our goodwill, our whatever credibility to push things that we think are good further. And I think that's going to, it's an alternate kind of distribution strategy. It's and we want to be able to do that because it helps, it really empowers us as filmmakers as well. You know, when films like this succeed, it just makes way for good storytelling across the board. So we want to be part of that. That's what I think we all did it for.
Nikhil, do you want to add to that?
Like Kiran said, there are so many hurdles and obstacles that we are fortunate enough to be in a position to overcome. You know, and I think that it's very myopic if we don't use our strengths as amplifiers. I think that the word is absolute correct word is amplify. Right? We are doing nothing. I mean, it was. I mean, Gaurav has Dhingra has very graciously said, okay, you know, you guys are the EPs. We made a couple of phone calls. We decided that we'll put our might behind it, and really at the end of the day, we love the film so much. We would have done it irrespective. But if this is going to help an audience reach out, if it's going to help the fact that you are sitting over here and having an interview with us, where normally you would not have, given the fact that I mean it's
मैं
just.
तो करता हूँ वैसे.
But I mean we spend the whole day, right? I mean so that it just helps to put the word out that this is a good film. Please go and watch it. You know, and we have other plans and we want to think of. We are thinking. Let's put it that way.
We like being influencers.
Vikram, like you get associated with so many films. I know that you have been silently backing a lot of films yourself. How do you? Because I'm sure that a lot of people get in touch with you. What is it about a film that makes you say that yes, you know, this is a film that I want to back?
No, with Soren, like you said, you loved it. I think we've all felt exactly the same sort of way. So you want to be able to back it. See, backing it in the sense that it's far more difficult. And I think what Gaurav's done on this film is tremendous because he's taken the risk on this film with Katie to be able to go out there and make it. We've come on board to be able to say, okay, we'll help you release it the best we can. Backing a film at its very base level is a whole different thing versus backing it at this level to be able to just get it the last mile, literally sort of like taking the last mile. Gaurav's the man who's sort of like run it, the kind of like the entire first mile, and it's not easy at all. Backing a film, I love producing movies, and I know that at Phantom when we used to produce them, the toughest thing for us to do is to raise money for the films that we love. It's so hard to do. It's so easy to kind of like in that sort of way help to cut a trailer, help to sort of like figure out a release strategy. But really putting it together from the ground up is a very, very hard thing to do. And if you love a script to the point where you're like, yaar, ye mujhe khud direct karni hai, film, which means it's good enough to produce. And that's I mean, for me, that's the barometer in terms of the fact that, yaar, if I want to direct this film, that means it should be produced.
I'm saying if you're not jealous of the film, then
it's not good enough to be a part of.
Then it's not. It's like, theek hai, matlab kar lete hain.
Nice. Gaurav, please, could you please chime in as well? You know, you have been associated with the film since the beginning. How did you decide to produce a film like this?
Actually, it was a series of things that happened. I was under a lot of debt for my last film. It didn't work. So it took a few years for me to pay out the debt. And the day I paid out the debt was the last
new debt
bit,
started.
Was 30th October, and 1st November we started a new film. So that was one thing, and I was ready to make a film in my mind. Then I met this gentleman who's actually the main inspiration for me, because he had a crazy idea of shooting a lynching scene, a whole film in a one take, and that really drew me in. And I thought it was like almost impossible to make a film like that, and that's why I should do it, because there will be very little people who should be able to do it. And the third thing was this yearning for, you know, I love thrillers. So I've been desperate to really make thrillers, but the thrillers that I've been consuming, apart from Parasite, and Parasite was more drama, but let's say thrillers that I've been seeing lacked a lot of social commentary, depth and attachment, and we got a protagonist. We decided to, you know, get a protagonist with the audience can identify with, and that was the birth of Gotham. You know, so a few things came together, and Mainly, it was his vision that I really liked. I thought it was very unique, and financially, I was able to move.
Right.
So I think all of this came together, and in 15 days. After 1st November, 15th November, 23rd November, we were in Pushkar, So it was so fast.
This is 2022.
This is 1919.
2019.
2019, sorry.
2019.
मुझे लगा कौन सी timeline में पहुंच गए इसमें से यार.
2019, yeah.
Like, you've been in the making for 100 years.
2019, we finished this. And
2019. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, the pandemic came in the middle and you couldn't
Feels
meet.
like
and-
100 years. Yeah.
So you couldn't meet. So
Right.
and then it took some time to do that. But eventually, the material we had, we presented it to this gentleman. In 2 days, we got a reply that he wanted to do it. So
Okay.
after the script, everything started falling into place. So the toughest bit was the script, of course, which took a long time. And it was done in a manner that we were thorough. We took a lot of feedback from a lot of people across the world because we wanted to make a global film. We needed everybody's perspective. And we went to location, saw specific locations, wrote it to specific locations, bought a car, which we shot in because we wanted to own the set and we could practice it and have the camera, and Katie could do blocking with the DP, and we owned it in Delhi, so we could do the stuff much beforehand before we reach. So we did a few things and we were quite prepped when
By the time Abhishek.
by the time Abhishek came in, and he brought in his whole perspective, which enriched it further. Shubham enriched it, Mia enriched it, so Harish sir enriched it. Everybody came in and made it more fuller, and the crew was just brilliant. So it was tough, but because of these completely amazing, crazy people who wanted to make a good film, that's all that was. There was no big money. There was no big commitment. Just the commitment was we're going to make a kick-ass film. And I see that the last 4 who are also the gods here have also showered their blessings on us because that's what we wanted to do. And I think I want to do more of this like every day.
I mean, more power to you. I really hope that you do.
Yeah, you've got to find people like this. So then it's easier.
Abhishek, I was so blown away by your performance, especially, that scene. I think, it's such a difficult, harrowing scene, but at the same time, but as an actor, I'm sure that थोड़ी सी खुशी भी होती है जब ऐसा scene देखने को मिलता है कि ये this is just one of those scenes that very few actors will possibly get in their life.
Yeah.
As difficult as it is, and as I'm sure that emotionally also it must have been crazy to be a part
the
of.
risk of generalization, I think every male actor wants that one close up with blood.
जो फिल्म का ट्रेडमार्क स्टिल बन चुका है.
So yeah, of course, when I read it, when they told me, I was actually sure because they were sure. So that really completely drove me into it. Because with big names, of course, there is a brand associated, so you know that they will execute a particular way. With complete newcomers, I had no clue what's going to be executed, but they were so sure, they were so clear about the visuals, the way the film is going to be edited also, music, everything. So I think I just went with their belief and their trust because they had done the homework, as Gaurav said. ये सब कुछ करके आए थे. So I was just and it's anyway not an actor's medium, so if you're sure that the makers are confident, then just dive into it.
Karan, speak just a little bit about some of the choices that you've made while making this film, in terms of there are so many long takes, so many sometimes there are static shots as well. This one shot that मैंने 3-4 बार रिवाइंड करके देखा है, जब गाड़ी की डिक्की से रेलवे स्टेशन का शॉट होता है, फिर यू पैन टू द इनसाइड द कार, उसके फिर कार चलती है थोड़ी देर के लिए. Just how did you plan these shots, and what was the thinking behind it?
When we started the film, I had just a singular principle in mind, which I had set for myself when I started even thinking about the story. That I want, because I felt a certain way when I found out about that story.
Right.
I saw those videos, even without being there. I sort of felt in a certain way of I could feel what would it be like, kind of in a vague way. to be in that position, you know. And I think through this film, I wanted to explore that idea, that a certain, you know, I wanted to put each and every viewer in that backseat with my character, going on this journey with them. So now I had that idea, and then sort of everything just kind of informed that idea. Like the whole film, we decided to shoot on wide lenses. It's like 25-32, the almost 90-95% of the film, because wide lenses give you a very immersive, very kind of a situation where you're like, you know, you feel like you're there. And this is historically known, lenses do that, etc. It's a fact. So that was a very straightforward choice. Now the moment that choice was made, then where the camera is going to go is automatically decided. I don't need to think where the camera is going to go, because I have a perspective to follow. Whether it's each scene might have a different perspective to follow, but once I know whose perspective is important and which perspective I should put my audience in, then the camera went there, you know. So it was an easy choice like that. Once that first choice was made, long takes was again a very sort of, I would say, an easy choice eventually, because I knew that I wanted to keep this immediacy. The film is set in a very short period of time, so the less I cut it, the more it'll feel like it's real time, you know. So I wanted to really make a real time film. And so that again, it was, so it all kind of stemmed from one sort of singular feeling, which what I personally for myself call the heart of the film, which is the hardest to find actually. You know, craft follows the heart of the film, but if you can find the heart of the film, which is very hard, at least I write, and I mean I've also tried to write other things, and it's not always easy to really find that heart of the film. But I think before you get there, maybe if you can, and that's really what I always kind of want to strive for, then all other decisions are, I think, much easier, because then you have a very small set of tools to play with, because you know if you have fewer principles to work with.
This is a question for all of you. If you had to describe the film in one word, you know, how did the film make you feel when you first saw it?
By the end of it, I was silent. I was numb. I'm telling you, like I just said it. It's like the film जो है बहुत, like it reaches a boiling point pretty quick and it keeps bubbling right till the end. Literally, it's like that for me. I was hooked, and बाद में ये जो emotionally hit करती है, by the end, you don't expect it. End में जाके I was like, my jaw dropped because of the kind of things it reveals, because ending makes you feel like suddenly यार हम लोग कितनी privileged दुनिया में रहते हैं, that we don't have to make choices like what Mia's character makes in the film.
Correct. Yes.
I'm saying I can still understand his character. And his performance, like, you know, and the transformation, everything is like, what's unexpected twist. They worked as twists, but they were still familiar in some ways. Like, I bought into him being an asshole. His performance is incredible. It's literally incredible because it's so believable. Shubham is incredible because he feels so soft compared to this brother. It's like, दो भाई ऐसे मैं relate कर सकता हूँ ऐसे. The thing is, but the choices that is revealed that the mother had to make and fighting for it, I have never heard of it. Those kind of hard choices, and then you realize that people who are living in that kind of a poverty make even more extreme choices because it's a survival thing. और फिर हम लोग यहाँ पे विस्की और जूते ही चुनते रहते हैं.
One word was what? Survival. One word he asked. One word.
Numb. He said numb.
Numb. I don't know.
For you, Kiran?
I think my word is shook. I was just shook by the film. Like, it literally rattled me. There was so many kind of I don't know, things that came from left field. It was lots of truth bombs at you, and so much that was massively entertaining while you were in it. You didn't realize was like literally, honestly showing you the mirror right through. So it was quite a revelation at the end of the day. So shook. That's my word.
Mine is, I think, complete in the sense that I was...
One word.
Complete. Yeah, it had everything. Everything that you need, you know, and you feel that there are some good films which are lacking in some department, and the good films that are, you know, everything just worked. Everything just
Like any good thriller, for me, the visceral reaction of the film is like, hota na ki when you clench, it's like that. I just felt that that's the one who is that kind of clench. Because it's like watching a Safdie Brothers film. You know, that's something which is just, it's so kinetic, it just grabs you, there's catharsis at the end of it and that kind of stuff. So if you're sort of like holding your breath while watching the film, is the sense that if I have to, in my, the memory of the film in that kind of sense, like that was like what I remember the most. Everything else is there, yes, it's superlative and I mean, it's in all those kind of things, but that one word for me was just that, I guess, clench only. It's like, I like that. You can't, like every part of your body is so tensed up that you can't.
Yeah.
I said, while watching the film, my resting heart rate was above my average heart rate.
Exactly, so it's like that.
Abhishek, I'm really curious to know how you felt after you saw those scenes for the first time.
I was mind blown. Yeah, I think that's
No,
the first time.
but just seeing like that kind of violence being inflicted on you, your face, your body. I mean, doing it as an actor is one thing, but then seeing it.
My dad, I showed it to my dad and mom. They loved it. The only thing they said कि इतना पिटवाने के पैसे
And by the way, he actually got beaten.
वो पता चल भी रहा था.
He took like full wooden sticks to his body. So कितने पैसे मिले भाई? Spill the beans.
The mistake is what made it into the film also.
हाँ, because पहली बार लकड़ी ऐसे झूल नहीं रही.
What is the one word Dhingra has?
Transformative.
Did you always think about making it as a 24-hour film?
You know, it's actually like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
It's not 24 hours even. I mean,
Yeah.
well, in that sense that we've not really defined anything, but because if you think back to it now, there's barely any ellipsis of time, very little time actually, when every shot is just like, if at best, seconds or minutes after the previous shot. So it's actually just a few hours, and I always thought of it as a real-time film. I mean, as real-time as possible, not literally 90 minutes, but as real-time as what. And again, because we're not putting any clocks on it, so I knew that nobody is gonna. But that defined how we made it, how we treated it, how we acted, how we did everything. So that defined that. But it was always like that.
Tell me if I got this wrong, but like the space in terms of the location is not really specified in the film throughout, right?
It's anywhere in India.
It's anywhere in India.
Yeah. It's anywhere in India because such things happen anywhere in India. And I didn't want to set it in a specific place, and all the names are fictionalized and for no reason.
The dialect is also very vague. कि मतलब कहीं
the dialect, because it's set in Rajasthan, so, and we were going to use local cast, we were going to use, so it is kind of, it's mostly rooted in Rajasthani. The cops, every local speaks in that sort of Rajasthani, Marwadi, but all the three protagonists are from outside that world, so they are their own people. They're like fish out of water. They're speaking a different language. But yeah, I mean, while it was anywhere India, it had to be localized to that extent because I could not make up anything there. So yes, that got localized automatically.
We called it Run Rashtra.
Yeah.
It's called RR. The number plates are RR. Run. So it's
you came up with like a fictional state.
Fictional state. Bansal is the fictional town.
Yeah.
So we came up with, but we had to keep some language. Now that can't be a fictional language.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you, when you wrote the film, did you have Pushkar in mind?
I grew up in Ajmer, and because I knew that we could only shoot in a single location, so to speak. And I wanted a range of sort of locations, and I mean, visually you want your film to sort of be expansive, even if you're shooting in a single place. So, because I studied in Ajmer, I went to Pushkar for the first time when I was 10 years old. And when we started the film, my brother was also a DP. He couldn't do the film at the end, but he was a large part of the film. He was on it. So both of us had gone to Ajmer. We studied in Ajmer, so we knew that we knew Pushkar very well. And so the initial recce's and all the scouts we done with my brother, and that's how we kind of found a lot of the locations very early.
Yeah.
And then of course we kept finding others and few others, but most of the stuff like the village, the first time I wanted to use a village like a maze, because I had seen these villages in Rajasthan where they don't have any gullies. It's like house, there are a few like that in Rajasthan. And so I wanted to have that sense of a maze where you're just like in this place where you can't get out of. There is no way out, you know. And so the moment we found that village, the railway station, there were a few things that we anchored ourselves around the landscapes. I mean, incredible landscapes. You know, the moment day strikes, it just goes it's just it's nature so at its best, you know. You don't have to do anything, but camera laga do. Baki then everything else is done for you. So
I think also railway station, because a large chunk of that was, and we found this railway station where only one train came. So I said, oh, okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so there was like one train.
सरकार ने हमारे लिए बनाया था.
हमारे लिए बना था, film के लिए बना था वो, I think. So we found that.
ट्रेन आई नहीं जब
एक दिन में आती है ना 3:30 बजे.
I think
हमारा night था.
starting at the station gives you that sort of like any town in India, because like
Yeah,
station is such, and the sounds of the station, everybody knows that. It is such a any station from anywhere in the country. You could
And
set
it's
that
very
as like
expensive to
it's-
shoot at a railway station.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
And yet you did 5
Yeah, you
days
have
of
to-
blocking or 3 days of blocking.
You
Yeah,
have to
that
put
also
a
we paid
deposit
for.
that you get back after.
But it was, we could shoot fast because we had to take these one day.
मैं तो मास्टर क्लास लेने वाला हूँ यार इससे, मतलब मैं अपने ईपी और एलपी को बोलने वाला हूँ, सुन लो
ये मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, पहली फिल्म कल होना और नहीं होती ना, तो मास्टर क्लास की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती.
कलोनो बेहतरीन फिल्म है यार, लेकिन
अरे अच्छी फिल्म है, लेकिन सब कुछ मिला हुआ है ना. न्यूयॉर्क में ब्रिज मिला है, सब कुछ मिला है.
मैं टर्न करता हूँ, 55 people are there, see the call sheet 400 people, क्या रहा है?
Okay, so on an ending note, just wanted to if we just had to speak about our favorite पहले मैंने सोचा था favorite 24-hour films बोलते हैं, like favorite films set in one day, but let's do just favorite thrillers in general. So Anurag sir, what's your favorite thriller of all time?
I see, it's very hard to choose, but if I have to like, films that impacted me on the first viewing as a thriller was Wages of Fear and Frenzy, I think. Like कुछ अलग ही है.
Thriller का definition क्या होगा? With action.
No.
Just something that keeps you at the edge of your seat.
Something edge of the seat.
I think for me it was Run Lola Run. I really
Run Lola
loved
Run
that
was
film.
much later. Run
It was
Lola
so
Run
much
was
fun.
Awesome.
in time film.
Yeah, it
In
was
time
like a
film में
one
Run Lola Run,
kind of.
Victoria, they're the films that are
Yeah.
shooting in time.
Karan?
I mean, I love thrillers, and I'll pick something that really influenced and inspired Stolen and style, a certain kind of thing, was Good Time. Because when I saw Good Time, I couldn't believe, I saw it in Mami. I was very lucky to see it on the big screen. It's almost impossible to believe that they shot that film with those long lenses and tight close-ups and this garbage. I mean, I almost felt like garbage filmmaking at the fucking best. Hard sound, hard camera work, and it's so it shakes you really like.
मतलब वो स्टोलन देखते मेरे को लग रहा था मैं सैफडी ब्रदर्स की फिल्म देख रहा हूँ, अगर इंडिया में बनी होती तो.
That's a big compliment.
No, but really, I mean, and the way that Vikram was also describing it, I mean, I think the last film that made me feel that way besides Stolen was Uncut Gems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Uncut Gems has that vibe now.
Yeah, has that
I just
vibe.
can't believe what this guy. You want to shout at him on the screen also.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's also Safety.
That's also
Yeah.
Safety.
That's, yeah.
And now he's made that MMA
About-
MMA
MMA
film.
film.
It
Yeah.
looks damn good.
With the Rock,
Yeah.
no?
With
Yeah,
The
it was
Rock,
mad.
yeah.
Looks damn good.
Nikhil?
I really like Zodiac. I thought it was
Yeah.
incredible.
I love Zodiac.
All of Fincher's
But
work. He makes
mem-
thrillers.
Memories of
I mean,
Murder
every
is a
Fincher
precursor
work
to
is
Zodiac.
like, I mean, Fight
Memories
Club.
of Murder is precursor to Zodiac.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7.
7. Fincher.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fincher. तो
Fincher
Fight
is
Club.
like-
Otherwise, favorite.
Fight Club.
Yeah, I mean,
Going to film देखेंगे बोलेगा तो हम दोनों का Fincher ही है. Yeah, Fight Club.
Yeah. Abhishek?
Yes, since 7, so I'll say Shining. That was something, I mean, a popular choice. And then this film called A Wednesday to Wednesday. It's a Spanish film.
Sir?
हाँ, एक फिल्म कैसे बोलोगे यार उसमें?
बहुत सारे
2-3 बोल दो, कोई बात
Generational
नहीं, मेरे को तो
दो-तीन
कंटेंट मिल रहा है.
हाँ बहुत
No, but I
सारे.
think anything by the Safdies, anything by Fincher. I think that when you talk about that thriller of that kind of like
All those
pulsating.
Gone
Clouseau,
Girl.
Hitchcock.
And Old Boy.
And anything by Hitchcock or even
Old Boy is one of the
Clouseau,
craziest
yeah,
films.
yeah.
Yeah. Park
I
Chan-wook
just
की
recently,
Park Chan-wook.
I recently saw a film which inspired the opening of Old Boy. मैंने सीधा देखा उसमें. मैं कहा yeah.
Oh wow.
अच्छा, कौन सी है?
हाँ, this is Takeshi Kitano's.
Oh,
अच्छा.
he's so fucking crazy.
Takeshi
Hanabi.
Kitano's. Huh?
Hanabi.
Not Hanabi. Violent Cop.
Violent Cop.
It's also,
Yeah.
but then you also, I mean, only because it's topical right now. Like Kurosawa's High and Low is another one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a
I
great
know अभी
film.
Spike Lee ने इसको remake किया उसके पहले
Yeah.
गुलजार साहब ने बनाया
Highest and
इनकार-
lowest or something
इनकार
is
गुलजार
made
साहब
now.
ने
नहीं नहीं
बनाया।
गुलजार साहब की नहीं इनकार
इनकार बनी थी
director,
विनोद
but
खन्ना
it's not
ने
Gulzar
साहब।
You
I
can't
know.
make a high and low today, actually, you know.
You can
But
still
they
make
just
it.
made
No,
one
I'm saying you
high.
can't make it because it's like a complete tonal shift. It's two films.
Yeah.
If you went and pitched to somebody, they'd be like, get lost.
So
you
they
can't
just
do
made Highest to Best. Spike Lee's made it. No?
Highest
I
and
don't
lowest,
think
yeah.
it's-
It's not
I believe it's the most talked about film from.
It might be, I believe you, but high and low, I don't think you can replicate because the way he's.
Yeah.
if-
हिंदी में बनी थी इनकार।
I
But
stand-
High and Low is but the topicality of High
But
and Low
Inkar is a very good adaptation.
Absolutely.
Tell me,
100%.
अपना Ugly also has a similar theme.
No, Ugly is just about a missing child. It's not really about. It's many things. It's like it's about people's personal.
That's a great double bill actually.
toxicities.
Stolen and Ugly will be a great
Yeah,
double bill.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
great toxicity.
Depression double will.
No.
No, they're both thrilling. They're both
अरे
great.
Ugly मतलब Ugly pirate हो गए थे नहीं तो हम लोग तो कैसा in 10 days we had to release it in between PK because the Blu-ray came out in France and it got pirated. We are like
Ugly is also an incredible thriller. One of my favorite thrillers for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, thank you so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure. And again, congratulations, Karan. It's an
Thank you,
amazing
Harshit.
film. I really hope more and more people watch it. ये सब लोग बोल रहे हैं तो आपको इनकी सुननी चाहिए मेरे से पहले. लेकिन मेरी भी सुन लो June 4th on Amazon Prime. Please watch this film first day when it comes out. It's an amazing film. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
don't miss it.
Miss it.